Hello everyone. So today we are here with our next topic that is from REC refrigeration and conditioning, and the topic name is thermostatic expansion device. So here you can see that we have two diagrams to explain the concept of thermostatic expansion device. First of all, it is one of the types of expansion devices. Clear? So there are different type of expansion device. We have capillary tube, we have thermostatic expansion device, we have automatic expansion device. So it is one of the type of expansion device which are part of refrigeration systems. Okay, so if initially we talk about the main components of the system, clear? So if we talk about the components, the main component of the system are the diaphragm, which you guys can see in the picture also. Clear? Secondly, we have a needle valve that is used to control the flow of refrigerant to the evaporator. So we have a needle valve. Clear? Uh, After that, there is a capillary tube. We have a component that is called capillary tube. Clear? Along with the capillary tube, we have one more component that is called feeder bulb. It is called feeder bulb. Okay, and in some of the books, it is also written as thermal bulb or sensing bulb. So all the names are same. We can also call it thermal bulb or sensing bulb. Clear? That is attached at the suction line of the compressor. Clear? So along with that, we have a spring, and to adjust the spring pressure, we also have a screw at the bottom part of it. Okay, then the evaporator, obviously, to which we are going to supply this refrigerant. Clear? And there is one more part that is called strainer, that is installed from where the liquid refrigerant enters. So if we look at this diagram initially first, the liquid refrigerant enters at this point into the body, into the valve, and at that point they come out from the expansion valve and go towards what? Into the evaporator. Clear? And from the evaporator, after producing the desired cooling, they come out at the suction line. So suction line basically is a line of the suction line of the compressor. From after passing to the evaporator, they will directly enter into the compressor. Clear? So at the end of suction line, we are having a feeder valve. Clear? Which is connected to the expansion valve with the help of a capillary tube. Okay, so inside the valve we have components as we have a diaphragm, which is very important part. Clear? Then we have internal equalizer, which is also a very important part. Then we have adjusting screw to adjust the pressure of the spring. So here it is not mentioned, but this component which I am writing over here, this is my spring. Okay, now if I talk about the working of it, thermostatic expansion valve do what? It control basically what? It control the flow of refrigerant to the evaporator. It control the flow of refrigerant. So all the expansion device which are going to use in different type of systems, their aim is to do what? To control the flow of refrigerant and to decrease its pressure. Clear? The refrigerant enters into the expansion device as a liquid. It come out as a liquid. Clear? But at reduced pressure, and how much quantity should be sent into the evaporator, that is controlled by the expansion device. So they control the flow of refrigerant. Okay, now if we talk about the working of it, in this we have two pressures. Clear? Initially inside the bulb. So this is evaporator. So we are going to have pressure of what? This is a pressure of evaporator. clear, that will be working at it from the bottom. At this pressure it is entering into the evaporator, and there is one more pressure because of the spring, that is called PS. PS. Okay, and on it there is a pressure, clear, on the diaphragm also, that is acting in the downward direction, clear. That is because of what? That is because of the bulb pressure. So here we can say there is a pressure acting on the diaphragm, that is called PB, which is called bulb pressure, and there is pressure acting on the upside of it, clear, in the upward direction. First pressure is because of the pressure of evaporator, and second one is because of the pressure of the spring. Okay, as I told you guys, they are working in the upward direction. So what we can say that PB is acting in the vertically downward direction, and PE as well as PS, spring pressure, are working in the upward direction. So they must be in equilibrium with each other. It means that PB will always be equal to what? PE plus PS. That is what we are trying to do. That all the pressures must be in equilibrium. They must balance each other. Okay, so these two pressures are working in the upward direction on the diaphragm. PB is acting in the downward direction on the diaphragm. Clear? Let us suppose in the first case, if I say first case, that pressure PB is more than PE plus PS. So obviously what will happen? I am saying that pressure PB is more. So what is the meaning of it? PB basically represents the pressure in the capillary tube that is also containing the refrigerant because of the feeder bulb. So this bulb at this point, clear, or thermal bulb, will sense the temperature of the suction line. So accordingly the refrigerant will get converted into vapors, and they will convert the pressure at this point, that is called bulb pressure PB. Okay, so if PB is more, it means the temperature of the suction line at this point is more. Clear? Obviously it means what? It means that more and more refrigerant in the evaporator is absorbed, clear, and is used in the evaporator. So it means that the load on the evaporator is increased. PB will be more when load on the evaporator is increased. It means we need more supply of the refrigerant. So what will happen if PB is more, clear, it will move the diaphragm in the downward direction. So if PB is more than PE plus PS, they will move it in the downward direction. So if this valve move in the downward direction, what will happen? This thing will move in the downward direction. This thing. So if this thing moves in the downward direction, the quantity or the flow of refrigerant into the evaporator will increase. So flow of refrigerant will increase, and that is what always required. If the load on the evaporator is increasing, obviously we have to supply more amount of refrigerant in it, so the flow of refrigerant will increase, and that is our desired condition, that is what required. Secondly, if I say that PB is less than PE plus PS, it means pressure of the bulb is reduced. Why it will be reduced? If the temperature of suction line which is sensed by the bulb is low. Okay, it will be low when what? When the load on the evaporator will be less amount of refrigerant will be required. So obviously when it comes out from the suction line, clear, its temperature will be low. So what we can say that in this case, this will happen only when the load on the refrigerator is reduced. So there is no load on the refrigerator. Okay, so if there is no load on the refrigerator, it means obviously PB will be less than what? PE plus PS. So in that case, since PE plus PS is what? It is more, so it will move the diaphragm in the upward direction. So if they move the if they lift the valve seat, this valve will move in the upward direction. It will occupy the space, so the flow of refrigerant will reduce. Clear? So it will reduce what? The flow of refrigerant is reduced. Okay, so that is also what required, because we have to have more refrigerant if load is increased, and we have to need less refrigerant if the load is decreased. So both the conditions are satisfied, so that is why we always go with the thermostatic expansion device for the commercial purposes. Secondly, it is doing what? Clear? If somebody says on which thing it operates, we will not say it operates upon the pressure or constant pressure. It is doing what? It is working upon the temperature of suction line. So it is controlled by what? We can say it is controlled by what? It's working. It is controlled by increase or decrease in the temperature of suction line. It means the temperature of suction line, whether it will increase or decrease, depending upon that the pressure PB will increase or decrease, and accordingly the flow of refrigerant will also increase or decrease. Clear? So this is again a diagram in which we have a spring adjustment, similar diagram but in a more technical way. This is a spring that is exerting the spring pressure to the evaporator from the refrigerant. Clear? Then there is a bulb attached to the evaporator at the outlet. Diaphragm is there and capillary tube is there. Okay, so this is the same thing which is working. This is the easiest way to explain it. So that is how our thermostatic expansion device work. Clear? And there is one more thing. It basically controls the superheat of the system at suction line, whether it's having high temperature or low temperature. What we are having the superheat of the system at the suction line of it. Clear? So we can also say that thermostatic expansion device, it is also known as what? It is also known as constant what? At the suction line, what we are saying? In the suction line, we are using what? We are using the superheat. So it is called constant superheat valve. Clear? So this must be clear to you that which valve is known as constant superheat valve. We can say thermostatic expansion device is also known as constant superheat valve. Clear? So that is all for today from my side for the thermostatic expansion device. Thank you very much, and please subscribe my channel. Thank you.